nirupita.
Sakatam tadgrihe dvasta.
Sakatam tadgrihe dvasta.
Shabhandham bhoktum arhati.
Sabhandam bhuktum arhati.
Brahmanaya bandhurhi.
Brahmanai shatra bandhuhi.
Grihapalo nirupitaha.
Grihapalo nirupita.
Sakatam tadgrihe dvasta.
Sakatam tadgrihe dvasta.
Shabhandham bhoktum arhati.
Sabhandam bhuktum arhati. Brahmanai shatra bandhuhi.
Brahmanaya bandhurhi.
Grihapalo nirupita.
Grihapalo nirupita.
Sakatam tadgrihe dvasta.
Sakatam tadgrihe dvasta.
Sabhandam bhuktum arhati.
Sabhandham bhoktum arhati. Brahmanai, by the Brahmanical order,
By the Brahminical order,
Kshatrabandhu, the sons of the Kshatriyas,
the sons of the Kshatriyas,
he certainly, Grihapala, the watchdog, Nirupita, designated, Sa, he, Katam, on what grounds, Tatkrihe, in the home of him, the master, Dvastaha, keeping at the door, Sabandam, in the same spot, in the same pot, Bhoktum, to eat, Arhati, deserves. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. The descendants of the kingly order are definitely designated as watchdogs. Pretty heavy, huh? And they must keep themselves at the door. On what grounds can dogs enter the house and claim to dine with the master on the same plate? He became a little proud. Yeah. Young, how old was he? 11 or something?
Arbaka means less than maybe 6 or 7. Arbaka, his child.
Oh, really?
He's playing with the boys, so I'm just assuming.
Maybe 6 or 7 years old. Wow. Okay. Purport. The inexperienced Brahmana boy certainly knew that the king asked for water from his father, and the father did not respond. He tried to explain away his father's inhospitality in an impertinent manner befitting an uncultured boy. He was not at all sorry for the king's not being well received. On the contrary, he justified the wrong act in a way characteristic of the Brahmanas of Kali Yuga. He compared the king to a watchdog, and so it was wrong for the king to enter the home of the Brahmana and ask for water from the same pot. The dog is certainly reared by its master, but that does not mean that the dog shall claim to dine and drink in the same pot. This mentality of false prestige is the cause of the downfall of the perfect social order, and we can see that in the beginning it was started by the inexperienced son of a Brahmana. As the dog is never allowed to enter within the room and hurt, although it is reared by the master. Similarly, although according to Shringi, the king had no right to enter the house of Samikarisi. According to the boy's opinion, the king was on the wrong side and not his father, and thus he justified his silent father. Hukum Gurdwa Talan Pongan Mankaite, Yat Kripa Talaham Vandesham. Vanchakapatu Vishakri Pasinu Deva Chapatitanam Pavane Vaishnavya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srimad Gaur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram. The problem with Shringi was that he was thinking he was a Brahmin. He's not a Brahmin. Gopi Bhartu Prabhupada, come under your das, das, das. Lord Chaitanya said, I'm not a kshatriya, I'm not a brahmana, I'm not a sannyasi, but I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, the lover of the gopis. So this is the reality, and this is the problem. He was thinking he was something that he is not. So he started the Kali Yuga with this misunderstanding of who he was. And from then on, it just became more and more degraded. Like when devotees were in Vrindavan and they were visiting one temple, and the devotees were looking at the deities with such devotion that the Vijaya, after they, had their darshan, he said, you're looking at the deities with such devotion. In your next life, you may become brahmanas. And the devotees were a little. They went back and they told Prabhupada, we were at the Radharaman temple. And the Pujari said that we're looking at the deities with such devotion that he said that we might become brahmanas in our next life. They were already brahmanas. They didn't accept that. So then Prabhupada said, you should have said to them that you're worshiping the deities so nicely. In your next life, you might join the Sankirtan movement. Prabhupada always had the right answer. And at the Radha Damodar, you've been to the Radha Damodar temple, where Prabhupada did his, it was there for 3 years, I think. So there's a lot of deities there. The devotees were getting darshan of the deities, and the Pujari said, I like the one on the far end over there. He reminds me of General Custard, And George was like, what? And they told Prabhupada, he said like this, he likes the deity on the end. He reminds him of General Custard or something. And Prabhupada said, these are paid brahmanas, Goswamis. Yeah. They're just not real brahmanas. They don't understand that this is actually Krishna. So imagine the mentality. I like that one over there. Reminds you of one general, Not good. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said he compared them to the solo class because they were using the deities for their maintenance. And he said that they're using the Saligram Silas to crack nuts. Because they're using the deities for their maintenance. Using the deities, Saligram Sila, to crack nuts. It's become so degraded. I remember, I don't know if I mentioned this here before, but it's interesting. I was distributing books in Miami airport, and I was talking to one Indian body man. He said, I'm Brahmana, but he seemed a little degraded. So I said, do you eat meat? He said, yeah, but I take the Brahman thread off when I eat meat, then I put it back on. And it's okay. So this is Kali Yuga Brahman. So here, in this text, we're seeing how Shringi, he's speaking very harsh words. He's calling him Griha Pala, which means a watchdog. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, he is a pure devotee, so he was actually on a higher level than the Brahmanas. Because if you're a Brahmana and you're not a devotee, then there's a lot missing there. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was a great devotee. He calls him a watchdog. So this is a common thing amongst children also. They call people names, right? Bullies, right? India also they have, isn't it? Yeah, bullies. So this is a bully Brahmana. Mm-hmm. It's a big problem actually throughout the world. The youth they bully people. It's So this is a bully Brahmana here, and there's a lot of them. They're still around. So uh, and even within our ISKCON society, sometimes devotees can be a little harsh, can be quite harsh actually sometimes. And there's an instance in in Bangladesh, they were going to open a temple, and they had invited Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for the opening. And there was one devotee that he had remembered that was a very nice devotee, but he didn't see him there amongst the devotees. And he asked, where is this devotee? And the devotee said, well, Maharaj, he committed some offense. He was speaking intimately with some woman, and so we asked him to leave. And Prabhupada said no. I mean, yeah, actually, they call him Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, no, I'm not going to be here for the opening. You have to go and you have to find him. Yeah. Wasn't such a big offense. He's talking to some woman. Go and you find him. Otherwise, I'm not going to be here. We're not going to have the opening. So they thought, oh my God, how are we going to find him? Dhaka. I think it was Dhaka. It was a big city even back then. So then one devotee remembered that he would fix devotees' watches. He was a watch repairman. So they went around, they finally found him fixing watches. So they went and they said, Prabhu, we're so sorry that we offended you. We asked you to leave. Prabhupada is here. He wants to open the temple, but he's not going to open unless you come back. He has so much affection for you. And he was like shocked. They're not going to open the temple until I go back. He had tears in his eyes. He was like, oh, okay, I'm going right now. Because, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada has so much respect, and he wasn't going to open until he returned. So he went back, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was very happy to see him. And he imagined he was Dantavad's tears in his eyes. And then he was allowed to go back to the temple again. But harsh words, no, you have to leave the temple now. Small thing, you're talking to a woman, something. Not that he's, just because he's talking to a woman, he's out of control. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he corrected that. Now there's harsh words, and there's also there's soft words. It's like there's an amazing pastime this is one of the most amazing pastimes of Jayananda Prabhu, who actually used to live here, just not far away. There was one devotee, nice devotee, and he had some difficulty, and he left the temple. And one devotee found out that he was working at a butcher shop. So Jayananda, he got word of that, and he went. He found out where the butcher shop was. And this ex-devotee, he was covered with blood on his apron. And when Jayananda, well, he was at the front, he asked if this person was there. He said, yeah, he's in the back. So Jayananda went back there and he said, hey, Harpo, Prabhu, and he just, no judgmental feeling at all, just went up to him and embraced him. He said, Prabhu, devotees, we're missing you like so much. Come on, please, come back to the temple. We're all missing you. And the devotee was just completely shocked. Here he is in the butcher shop with blood, and Jayananda just all smiles, completely non-judgmental. He says, Prabhu, we're missing you. Please come back. He took his apron off right there, and he went back to the temple. Yeah. So there's harsh words and there's kind, soft words that change a person's life. So the prophet also, of course, he had this, the kind, soft words of a Vaishnava. And there's this amazing pastime of Bhrigu Muni. they wanted I guess the demigods wanted to find out who was supreme. So there's Brahma, there's Shiva, Vishnu. They want to find out who's supreme. So first he went to Lord Brahma, who was his father. Now, for a son to go to the father, you offer respects. So it's an offense to use harsh words, but it's also an offense if you don't use any word. He didn't say anything, didn't offer respects, didn't pay obeisances, and Lord Brahma became offended, became angry. So somehow he was able to see that anger, and he said, "Well, he's not supreme." So he went to Shiva, who was his brother, and brothers, and they naturally, Brigamuni, Haribo, went up to him and said, "No, don't get close to me. We got snakes, ashes, Muchi." And Lord Shiva became so offended, he's ready to kill him. He took his trident, and Prabhupada said, "No, you can't kill him. He's your brother. Just be a little tolerant." Well, he's off the list. And then, as you know, amazing past. And then he went to Lord Vishnu. See, there's different ways. You could just, you could use a verbal, it's a verbal offense. There's a offense of not offering respects, and then there's the corporal. We actually kicked Lord Vishnu on the chest. And what did Lord Vishnu say? "Prabhu, thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry I didn't receive you nicely, and I hope I didn't hurt your foot because my chest is very hard." And Brigamani's like, "Oh my God, he's supreme." And it's described that after this incident, Brigamani became so ecstatic and seeing the tolerance of Lord, he started dancing. He said, "Lord Vishnu, he is the supreme. He is the supreme. He started dancing. He was in ecstasy. Of course, Lakshmi Devi, she wasn't so happy.
Bhalu.
Huh?
Jai, Dhanya.
What is that?
Maharaj will say it in the readings.
Oh, yeah.
Jai. So
from that time on, she made a statement that Brahmanas will never have Lakshmi. They would never be well. So there's some exceptions to that. We got Ambarish, Prabhu. He's pretty well. Yeah, there's a few others, but in general, we're pretty poor folks. Although this temple's doing pretty good. Of course, this is a temple; it's not an individual. So also I wanted to mention something about dogs. Here, this is very offensive to compare him to a dog. But now dogs, they have very good qualities. Yeah, Prabhupada mentions he mentioned in a class how there was one instance where there was a master with his dog, a loyal dog, and there was a baby there, and he was going to go do some shopping. So he told the dog, watch the baby. Because they lived in a rural area where there's, kind of wild animals and stuff. So he went, and when he came back, he saw there was blood around, and he saw blood on the mouth of the dog, and no baby. So he just like, he couldn't believe it. You ate my baby. It was like unbelievable. So he got a gun to shoot the dog. And the dog's not stupid. He just stood there and he killed the dog. And then he heard the baby. He heard the baby crying. What's it? How's the baby crying? He looked under the bed and the baby is there. Now, where's the blood come from? He killed a wolf to protect the baby. Now you can imagine how distraught he is. He just killed his loyal dog that protected his baby. Material world. It's like you never know what's going to happen. So dogs are very loyal. It's one of their good qualities. And they're always alert, even when the dogs, they maybe look like they're sleeping, but they jump up very alert. You ever have a dog? Or yeah,
No.
I had a dog. I had a puppy actually, and I'll tell you, I had so much love for this dog. Wherever I went, this dog followed me. So much affection. And my first misery in the material world was when that dog got run over by a car. I was like 7 years old. I was just devastated. My first experience of death was my little puppy dog. So, uh, so they're very alert. They don't, like when we wake up, it's like, drowsy, you know, wake up. But dogs, they're alert. It's amazing. And they're also satisfied with very little food, even though they might be hungry. They just take a little, be satisfied. With us, we want a good meal. When we're eating, we're not so satisfied. And they're also very friendly. Therefore, they're called man's best friend. Like the dog goes, the master goes out and comes back, and the dog comes running at him. His tail is wagging, and he's just so jumping up to him, and they're so friendly. There's never any ill feeling. There's no arguments, or it doesn't get angry at the master. You never see the dog growling at the master. Even sometimes, I've been at concerts. And it's very common that dogs, they'll see each other and they start barking. So I've seen it again and again. The dog starts barking and the master starts beating him. What? Stop barking! Because they have one dog sees another dog. It's natural they start barking at each other. And just ruins the atmosphere. Anger. Barking. Slap the dog and slap it. But the dog just humbly accepts the chastisement. But it's hard for them to learn, though. It's hard for them to stop barking. So that's one of the negative sides of the dog. So there's now given the positive side, but there's a negative side. They're the fourth biggest cause of human death. They kill a lot of people. I remember reading this lady. She let her dog on a lady and killed the lady, and she had to go to jail. The lady had to go to jail for 2 years, and they say they put the dog to sleep and then they kill it. But they don't want to say we killed it because it's a dog. Dogs are pretty respected, so they always put it to sleep, permanently. So that they kill. There's people that have gone. There's door-to-door salesmen. Sometimes they go to the door, and the master opens the door, and they don't know the dog's right there, and they just attack, and they kill. Bulldog especially, very dangerous. I was on book distribution yesterday, and this lady had a bulldog, and I was like, he's a good dog, yeah, he's okay. Just don't get him upset. So, there's some cities where they're not allowed because they've killed people. So that's some of the negative. And barking. You're just walking down the street, and they come and there's just scare the heck out of you sometimes, Actually, Bring a Buddy was on book distribution one time. He told me, he said he went to one house, and the dog was, he was checking out the little dog there. He was kind of like, was calm, and then when he got up on the porch, he said, rah, 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 rah. He started jesting. Bring a Buddy started jesting. You never asked him, because he appeared calm. It was a show, but then when he got up on the porch, rah, 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 he scared the heck out of him. And when he told me another story, he was in Australia distributing books, and And this big dog came at him, just rushing him, just fast, big dog. And Brigham thought, oh man, this is it. This guy's gonna tear me to pieces. But then he had a leash connected to him. So there was a leash. So he got about this far, and then he couldn't go any further. So the leash saved his life, pretty much. So yeah, they can be very scary. And also, barking is a big problem. People are trying to sleep. I mean, I do a lot of traveling, and one of the worst things is if you have a dog in the neighborhood. They'll just bark. So much so that sometimes they just bark all night. They bark. And I remember reading one time where one of the neighbors came out, and this dog was just barking. He couldn't sleep, so he just came out with a gun. Yeah, killed him. Sometimes they're so loud, you can't. You got to work the next day, but you can't sleep because the barking dog, so that's another negative. And yeah, they attack people. I remember also reading this dog attacked a girl. She was a baby girl, a cover girl. She was in magazines, this beautiful little girl. Dog came and just gnarled her. It didn't kill her, but just, she had to get like 120 stitches because he was just cutting her up all over the place. So the owner, or the father of the girl, he was just like, can you imagine? Just barely lived. The girl barely, just so much blood was lost and stitches. So he found out that this dog had done it. He got a baseball bat and just beat the dog to death. Just killed him. You can imagine, this dog almost killed his daughter. So the anger, just killed the dog. He got so many letters and calls from people complaining that he killed the dog. Forget about the kid, he killed the dog. It's amazing. So actually, it's interesting that Lord Chaitanya, he had a little puppy. Didn't own it, but somehow he got this puppy, and his friend went to Mother Sachi and said, Mother Sachi, Nimai, he's playing with a puppy. And dogs are Muchi. So Mother Sachi went and said, Nimai, what are you playing with this Muchi dog? No, it's my puppy. He became transcendently attached. Imagine the good fortune of being that puppy. Lord Chaitanya is attached to the puppy. Special soul in there. Yes. So then Mother Sachi said, you go play. She went up and played, and then somehow she got rid of the dog. He let the dog go. And he was like, where's my puppy? And she said, oh, no. I don't know. But he was a little distraught. And Krishna also, he has 2 pet dogs. And that's why it's a big thing, It all begins with Krishna, right? Have a dog. Like, it's like if you're in America, you don't have a dog, it's like you're not really American. You got to have a dog. Now it's spreading to India also. And they got their dogs. Now they're sophisticated. They take their dog out for a walk, and they do their thing. Kali is very degraded. So, and there's a pastime in the Ramayana where Lord Ramachandra, he told Lakshman, go out to the city and see if there's any complaints. So he went out and he saw a dog. And the dog complained. What's your complaint? I was beaten. I was beaten by a Brahmana. So he said, well, then you go tell Ram. No, I can't go. I'm a dog. I can't go into the palace. So Lakshman went. He told Ram that there's just one complaint, a dog. He was beaten. Well, bring the dog here. Well, he wouldn't come in because it's a palace. And Ram said, no, you tell him it's okay. Tell him Ram said it's okay. So he came in. Said, yeah, I was beaten by this Brahmana. I didn't do anything to upset him. He's beating me, and he had a wound, blood, coming. And Lord Ram told Lakshman, you go and find this Brahmana. And he was, he's the Lord also. So he was able to find the Brahmana, bring him back. And Lord Ram said, my dear Brahmana, why have you beaten this dog? What was the reason? He said, oh, my wife was giving me a hard time, nagging me, and I was angry and upset, and I just used my anger on the dog. Sorry. Encourages brahmacharya, So then Lord Ram, he said to the Brahma, so what should we do here? He's done something that's not justifiable with it. So they said, well, you can't punish a Brahmana. So then Lord Ram said to the dog, so what should we do here? What do you think? He said, I'll tell you what you do. You get an elephant, and you put this Brahmana in nice clothing and nice, nice chadar, and walk him into the city and take him to the temple. Yeah. And Lord Ram said, well, what kind of punishment is that? He's riding on an elephant, nice clothing, nice. He said, well, I'll tell you what happened. In my previous life, I was a Brahmana, and I became proud. I was a Mahant. I became proud. And because of that pride, now I've become a dog. So he'll be respected and honored, and he'll become proud. So that's the punishment. It's a curse, actually,
Wow.
to be in a situation where one can become proud. And therefore, it's stated that Janmaisvarya Shruta Shribir Edamana Manapama Naivarhatya Vatatu by Tomakichan Gotra. That you are very easily approached, Kunti says, but only by those persons who are materially exhausted, but those persons who want high birth, Brahmana, Aishvarya, opulence, Janmaisvarya, Shruta, education, tree, beauty, they cannot call out your name with feeling. Because along with these things comes pride. And pride cometh before the fall. So, therefore, it's always good to be in a situation where pride can't rise. It's like so many devotees mentioned to me that, Vijaya, you should take sannyas. You're a good preacher. I heard it so much, I thought, all right, yeah, maybe I'll take sannyas. So I went through the whole thing. I went through the whole process. All they had to do was accept the danda. So there's a whole process. You got to get a recommendation from so many gurus and sannyasis and the council in that area where you got it's a whole thing. You got to do the bhakti shastri. You got to pass the bhakti shastri. So it's a whole thing. But then I read this verse, Narada Muni. He says one should cultivate utter humility with one's thoughts, one's words, and one's actions. And anything that gets in the way of that should be rejected. So I read that and thought, all right, wait a second. I don't know if I want to get involved here, because along with, taking sannyas, you get a lot of respect, and you get the Mahaprasadam, and you get this, and you get that. And I thought, well, that probably wouldn't be a good thing for me, in avoiding getting this pride. And pride is such a horrible thing. Prabhupada said actually it's an English saying that even the pauper is proud of his penny. It's so easy to get proud. So, someone just gets a new shirt, he's walking around thinking people are admiring his shirt, Isn't it? So Prabhupada, he said that he was at the Howrah station in Calcutta, and he saw there was one person there. He was carrying a pile of wood. I think it was burnt wood or something. And Prabhupada could see that he was proud that he had that, useless wood. So what to speak if one becomes very qualified, and it's easy to become proud. And Prabhupada mentions in a purport that if one is very qualified, if one has education, one has opulence, one has beauty, but is not proud, gets the special mercy of Krishna. And Prabhupada was so educated, and he's quite handsome actually. I remember distributing books one time, and it was one of the books. It was a picture on the back, and I was showing one lady the book, and I showed a picture of Prabhupada. This is my guru. She said, "Oh, he's a cutie." So Prabhupada was very handsome also. He was very educated, but he was very humble. He was very humble. So he got the special mercy of Krishna. So there's a few minutes. Any question or comment?
Thank you for the class. I have one question to, especially in India, because there are so many temples in Vrindavan. There are brahmanas who ask people to give money. Actually, they many times mistreat people. They force them to give money.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They are called pandas also. You might have seen.
How can you force someone?
I mean, they actually, they either they use abusive words,
or they threaten them,
or
I'll curse you or something.
They won't. Manipulative behavior. It's like bullying, right?
Bullying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they are there on the altar.
They're the senior.
They're senior, and they won't give you prasadam, or they won't treat you well like others. But if somebody gives you money, they are given a priority in darshan. So many of my relatives, they ask this question: what kind of this, spiritual centers you have, these temples? All of them, they behave like this, and many of them, they have had a bitter experience, and they don't go back. Sometimes it's an excuse, but many times it happens, bro, actually, that brahmanas treat like this. In northern India especially. I don't think in southern India it's the thing, but especially in Vrindavan area or in Jagannath Puri, these things happen. So how can we pacify these people who have the bitter experience?
Well, you can't lump us in with all the other groups, right? Like you get a bunch of bad apples. That doesn't mean that all the apples are bad. So I mean, I think our society is quite respectable now, because we don't push. There's opportunities for people to give donations at all our temples, but I don't remember or hear of any pressuring by devotees for people to. I mean, it probably happens. Actually, I know of a Sankirtan devotee. It does happen. I guess he would say that he would be distributing Bhagavad Gita, and he would say, "Only if you give $20, will I give you Bhagavad Gita." Kind of like, if you want it, you got to give a certain amount. Kind of forcing, which is not good. Actually, he's not. He was excommunicated because he's so heavy. Yeah, he's given us such a bad reputation. There's one person, and the devotees have gone to schools where he's gone to after he's been there, and they feel they could feel the difference. Whereas another devotee goes there and is very very respectful and very gentlemanly, and they feel the difference. So just like Prabhupada gives the example that if you have a burning bush in a forest, that could ruin the whole forest. So, and he gives the example also if you have a very fragrant flower bush, then it makes also the forest very fragrant. So we want to be like that. So it's Kali Yuga, so it's hard to, you can please all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. So but we try our best. We should always try our best to please the people so they walk away with a good impression. And pressure is definitely not good.
Thank you. I was also thinking about giving them this example of Shringi. That this is why it happened in the beginning.
That was the beginning.
That was
you can tell them that was the beginning. It started a long time ago.
Let me tell you something.
It's gotten worse as Kali Yuga has increased. But we're aloof from that by Prabhupada's mercy. And Prabhupada also, he was such a gentleman. Just by his purity, people wanted to give so much. They gave their life, gave their money, gave everything. Because the purity. Yeah. So many, still, thousands of people are giving their life because Prabhupada's purity has created such a nice society of respect and love and honor. There was one lady, devotee, she joined the movement, and her mother was shocked. And she went to the temple and she said, my daughter, I gave you everything you ever wanted. How can you come here and join the Hare Krishnas? And she said, you gave me everything I ever wanted, but love. And from my guru, Prabhupada, he's given me love. He's given me what you could not give me. So that was Prabhupada's big contribution to the world. And the love is there in reading Prabhupada's books. The devotional ecstasies, you could feel the love, the concern for the conditioned souls coming from Prabhupada. So it's still there. He reasons ill who say the Vaishnavas die while still living in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and live and spread the holy name around. So this is the glory of Prabhupada. So much love. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Anything from online? Any questions?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class, Vijaya Prabhu. Just a couple of comments. I really like the stories about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and Jayananda. Very inspiring, very heartfelt. And then just one thing about dogs, just because it's relevant in my life right now, because my sister's in town, so she's here for a few weeks, and she's got a tiny little dog. And it's so funny. He's so attached. When I get close or anyone comes close, he growls. When she leaves, he cries and he won't eat. When she leaves, he just collapses and won't eat. He won't move until she comes back. And I was just thinking, it's like, wow, if I had that much attachment for the holy name, just a pinch of that, it's just, so dogs have some really good qualities. And
Very good
thank
quality.
you.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that confirmed that they have so much. They're so loyal. Yeah, if we only had so much love for Krishna that some dogs have for their masters, yeah, we'd be doing pretty good. Yeah.